going live now.
And we are live.
I like how it literally just yelled at me, "You're live" on the screen. It was great. Though, it is giving me a "please stand by" message right there, and I don't know how to take that, so...
well, I'm not seeing us being live just yet.
There it is, I see it.
You see it?
Oh, I love the eagle.
You like the eagle? I thought you would.
I love the eagle.
I thought you'd like the eagle. It was a nice eagle. I literally, my Google search was bald eagle with single tear. Unfortunately, I couldn't find that, so this is what I got instead. But you know, you gotta
How
get.
come animals don't cry?
I'm lagging out. Here we go.
Animals don't cry. Animals actually can cry, Steven.
But like, there's no tears. Or they just get absorbed by their fur.
No, there are animals that can actually cry with tears.
Like what? I've never seen one.
Dude, search like gorillas.
Oh, that's gonna be so sad. I don't want to see that.
Elephants.
Okay, that'll be less sad.
No, that's more sad.
I like gorillas.
Elephants can actually mourn their dead.
That's so sad.
There we go.
Their skin's so dry, and then their tears like make their skin less dry, so it's easier to like see the. That's so sad.
Well, you know, I did. You know, the whole point of this, the whole topic of this podcast is emotional journeys. So, you know, get your emotions lubed up.
I wish you had said it like that.
Yeah, why'd you say it like that? Now I'm like, nah.
I'm gonna Google elephant.
My God.
tears.
Okay. If anybody's wondering, I am legit having a hard time. Like, I am lagging so bad. Like, I have a hard time understanding what everybody's saying.
Oh, I'm sorry. Do you want us to kick you out of the call and bring you back in?
You know, that may not be a bad idea as long as it doesn't screw up the overlay. Let me just leave.
Oh, it's gonna totally screw up the overlay. But you know, once you get back,
you better not mess up the eagle.
Oh, now it's just Steven everywhere.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I don't know if that helped that much.
I don't know. All right.
If it gets too bad,
You'll just duck.
die.
All right.
Emotional journey.
Well, you know, go ahead and just start us off then. Thank you for tuning in to the Emotional Podcast. I'm Jesse, your host, as always. And as always, we have our boy Steven. How are you?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. I said that already. Wait, or did I? It's been that kind of a day, actually. I'm not good. I got super drowsy on the way home today, so
Nice.
it was one of those.
It's the same thing.
Yeah, no, apparently, like everyone I know is getting super drowsy today. I don't know.
Honestly,
Probably the season change.
I was talking to someone earlier and they were, but like today I've been like so alert and like ready to go.
Well, that's because you're drowsy every other day.
Honestly, yeah.
Oh,
So,
Yeah.
Every day is opposite day for Steve.
That's accurate.
I also
I switched up my networks and now everything is normal.
Excellent.
So.
I also had a weird moment earlier when I was at the gym, you know, about to swim. I got in the hot tub to sort of just like, you know, the water was particularly cold that day, so I didn't want to immerse myself in the water when it was super cold, so I wanted to immerse myself in the water in like a warmer water, and then I would jump into the cool water and it would be really refreshing, which it was. But for some reason, when I was in the jacuzzi, faster than ever before, I got a sore throat in like less than a second. I don't know why I got a sore throat.
Why does it give you...
No, I don't know. I literally got in the jacuzzi, and I sat in there for a little bit, and then I was good, and then suddenly I had a sore throat. I literally just felt it come on out of nowhere.
Allergies.
Did you look that up? Because that's probably a thing.
I don't know.
Sometimes, like, you can, like, breathe a certain way, like, and, like, stuff will get in your throat.
Yeah, maybe the hot
That
water,
happens.
like, irritates.
Yeah.
Yeah, the chlorine. Maybe you have, like, a slight,
Chlorine
like, allergy to chlorine or something.
That'd be weird.
Is that a thing?
Probably you could have an allergy to, like, peanuts and pretty much anything else. So you can probably have an allergy to chlorine.
Maybe you, like, have an allergy to, like, sweaty old men in the locker room or something.
I think everybody.
Why? can we just talk for a second, like, why just old men
Oh,
are
here's
just,
this conversation.
just so shameless in the locker room?
Look, once you get to that point in life, it's just like you don't care anymore.
Like, just so shameless. I mean, like, you know, have a little bit of modesty, a little bit of just like, yeah, you know, we're all nude. We're not happy with it, but you know, have a little bit of shame. Stop.
I never go into like gym locker rooms if I'm able. I never go in them.
Yeah, I mean,
I've never been in the locker room at my current gym, and I don't plan on ever going in there.
I mean, at some point you kind of have to, especially if you.
I live like less than 5 minutes away from my gym, so I kind of can just go to my house.
I can't, so I need to use the locker room to change and stuff. So, and I don't want to be one of those weirdos that goes into like one of the bathroom stalls or the shower stalls to change.
I mean, it's either you're gonna be one of those. When you're older, you'll be one of those weirdos 60-year-old men just shamelessly doing it.
I will not be. I will be less shameful, but I'm not going to be completely shameless.
It's a weird conversation.
Well, I was looking up chlorine allergies while you guys were talking about naked old men.
Shoot, got us there.
Yeah, I never really find anything about allergies. Like you can have a chemical reaction, so it'd be different. It's a different.
Interesting. I mean, the sore
But it
throat.
looks
There's
like
gonna
it
be a
looks
lot
like
of
some people
bacteria
can
in that
have,
thing,
like,
so
nasal or sore throats and stuff from it.
I think since it's jacuzzi, the
apologize.
water's like super hot, and maybe kill you.
Yeah, or maybe it makes it worse. I don't know.
Who knows?
Well, I'm gonna have this last Three Musketeers fight.
Oh,
here.
Nice.
Oh yeah. Random question. So basically,
Random answer.
every like few days, like at least like once a week, I need to like head over to like a place to like get some cash back because I need like cash for the toll road I go on. But I usually go to Walmart and grab something. What snack should I grab tomorrow on my way to work?
Okay, so Walmart,
Like their bakery has like these. It's like maybe not quite like a Rice Krispie bar,
Ooh,
but it's like
you have my
it's
attention.
kind of like that, but it's like covered in chocolate and like it's peanut buttery. It's
have-
so good.
You have my attention.
It's so good.
Oh, I think I know that thing. Actually, isn't it
Yeah.
just kind of come like just in like just like wrap?
Yeah, it's like a clear like package. It comes
Just
from like the
plastic-
Walmart like
just like a plastic
bakery.
wrap. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so good. I love it.
Yeah, yeah. No, yeah. I was thinking maybe just getting a pack of those little chocolate donuts. I love those things.
I can't do those things.
I love them. They're so.
I don't know.
They're so just
The
like.
chocolate covered ones?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love. Those
I don't know.
things.
For me, like any donut, like it has to be be like freshly baked. I can't eat them
Yeah.
like if they're
Yeah,
not.
I get that.
That's
Yeah.
fair.
Maybe I should like bring bring a box of donuts to work tomorrow. You know.
Yeah, be that coworker. That's
Be
a
that
that's a
guy.
good coworker move. That's what you want to
So,
do.
If you want to look at, I'm trying to think of some other snacks, like what I usually get at Walmart. See, my thing is like usually when I'm at Walmart, I get like one of those dollar pies.
Those are
Yeah,
good.
ooh,
Those are really
those are
good.
good. Those are good.
Can't really.
You can
take
gotta
that
just eat
as-
those with your hands. That's amazing. That's a beautiful thing right there.
You just-
they're like 50 cents too, so you can get like 5 of them.
no, they are 50
Yeah.
cents. I thought they were.
Yeah.
It is getting closer and closer to October. Maybe I can just get a thing of candy corn. I do love
Oh.
candy corn.
Get a bunch of pies.
Bro, in the morning you're gonna want
Haven't
something
we
with
had
like
this
some
discussion
nutritional
if you
value. I
bring
recommend
a bunch
not
of pies
eating
to work?
wax.
Steven, I love it though.
I can't do candy corn. It's just not good. I can't do it.
Yeah, candy corn. I never got it with candy corn. I don't
It's
understand.
so like just enjoyable.
No,
People
to eat.
who like it
dude.
really love it though.
I love candy corn. It's like the kind of thing of like, yeah, obviously if you eat it for too long, you're really gonna get sick of it.
I
But
think I liked it as a kid, but like,
I love candy
no,
corn.
as I've gotten older, I can't do it. Man.
So,
I think it's just because it's so easy to eat.
hey guys, do I keep over talking you? Because like I'm
Not
talking when I'm
not
like lagging.
not constantly, but you did like once. But
Okay.
yeah, we can
Okay.
kind of tell you're
'Cause
lagging
I
a little bit.
literally, I'm still having a hard time. I literally am. I can't tell if I'm over talking to you guys.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so I've taken up a lot of that. So, Steven, how has your day, week been?
Honestly, it's been pretty good. Like today, like I woke up a little later than I wanted to, but I've had a pretty good, productive day. Because like the past like week, I've been dog sitting for someone, so I've been like staying over there, and like I just haven't. I've been working a lot. I haven't had much time to do a lot, but I had the day off today, and I just kind of spent the whole day like working around the house, cleaning up, cleaned up my entire bathroom, cleaned up my room, reorganized some of my laundry. Like, I've had a weird laundry situation for like the past year, so took care of that. What else did I do? Went to the gym. That was fun. Yeah, and I've had a pretty good week. I'm trying to think of anything else notable that I did, but yeah, I'm starting to work a lot more because some of the drivers left. I'm a delivery driver, and we're getting into the busy season, so getting a lot more hours. But which I'm not complaining. I mean,
I wouldn't complain.
Yeah, more money.
Yeah.
Gotta save up for Christmas.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's the only reason we make money.
Honestly,
Yeah, exactly. It's for giving, right? I mean, you guys are selfish
totally.
with your money. I mean,
Yeah, no, it's not like we actually use it to buy food for ourselves or anything. That'd be just selfish. Yeah, no, sounds like you've had a pretty decent week.
I had a really good dinner too, which I guess we can talk about that during our food segment if we want to.
Yeah.
Or not.
Luke the Lagful.
I've been doing. I haven't had any problems for a little bit, so hopefully it's all good. Yeah. What have I done this week? I haven't done a lot of crazy stuff. I think I'm going to be going to the state fair, so I will have to report on that.
Nice.
Eat a lot of fried food.
I haven't been to the Virginia State Fair in so long.
It's
so good.
I never hear about it when it happens until like after it happened.
Yeah.
The last time I went was like because they moved it locations a few years back, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was the last year I stopped going, and like I don't know, I feel like if I went now, I don't know if it would feel the same. Does it look that much different than where they used to like have it?
I think I went after the move, so I don't know.
Okay, because like I used to go like every single year, and then like when they moved it from like I think it's at like the Raceway now or something, but I don't know. I haven't been since they moved it, but I'll have to go again one of these years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's good. It's worth it.
Yeah.
Only thing I've really played this week is me and Jesse have played Risk of Rain 2 again after some of the updates. I think like Jesse could go over, like he could go over the skills probably better because I still have to unlock those.
Yeah.
But they changed how skills work. They added a new area.
Yes.
Or something.
Yes.
And then trying to remember what else they added, but yeah, Risk of Rain 2 is still fun. My thing is like, you know, it is an early access game, so it's like, kind of feel like I'd get more out of it if I just waited till they are finished.
That's what I'm doing.
And then jump in and be like, oh my god, it's like a different game, you know?
Yeah, I'm trying not to play it too much before it comes out.
Yeah.
I played it once the other day with Jesse, but I want to. I don't want to play it too much because, like, Starbound, that's what happened with that game for me. Because I probably logged over 100 hours before it was even released, and like.
Yeah, early access as a business model, I just don't like.
Yeah,
very much.
it can be done, but it's hard.
I will never release an early access game.
Yeah, no, it's just I don't like it. It's at least like now it's not like everybody does it. Like it used to be like everybody's like, oh, I could release the game before I make it, you know, and then everybody did it. And it's like, I mean, how many actual unfinished games were there that like never got?
There's probably like thousands.
There's a few, right?
There's probably like thousands.
Yeah, thousands
on the Steam store. Oh yeah, for sure, thousands.
Yeah, I mean that's the pessimist side of me would be like, yeah, I'm sure there's thousands of it, but I wasn't actually sure. I was like, I'd probably be overestimating, but if that's really how it was,
there's a lot. There's quite a lot.
Sheesh. Yeah, I'm kind of glad that trend kind of died.
Me too. That trend was dumb.
Yeah, I know a lot. It was funny because like I remember they were talking about AAA games might consider it. I'm like, that's the last thing you need is AAA developers.
I mean, they basically already do though.
They already do. Yeah, it's kind of part of DLC too, and like day one or like patches where they release unfinished games. So we're already there, I guess. But yeah, it's lame as heck, and I'm glad people don't do it as much anymore.
Yeah.
But Risk of Rain, I went ahead and just bought it against my better judgment, just because its first game was so good.
It's the best. It's the best early access game that's ever like been in early access, in my opinion, or at least one of them.
Ooh, well, Yeah, I mean, it feels like it's about as feature complete as the first one in some ways.
Yeah, feature complete, definitely. Content
Except for
complete,
there's
not quite.
Yeah, not there's no real ending to it, I guess.
Yeah, which there will be. Right now, they only have like everything up to level 4, and they have 2 variants for each of the levels, like they did in Risk of Rain 1. I don't remember how many.
So it's almost it almost has the same features as the first one.
Yeah, how many levels were there in Risk of Rain 1 in terms of like
5 or 6, right?
Yeah.
Well, not I mean altogether.
Not altogether, but just like how many levels did you have to get through before you could get to the ending?
I think
Was it like 4 or 5 or
6.
something?
Man, I don't know, man. It was something like that, but
Good game.
yeah, very good game.
If you guys haven't picked up Risk of Rain, either of them, like I would pick up. Like Risk of Rain 1 is good, but I mean they're not really going to be doing anything else with it. Risk of Rain 2, the thing with Risk of Rain 2 is like I always was like after we played it, because I wasn't sure. I was like, it looks cool. I thought a jump to 3D was an interesting kind of weird choice to do with it, a sequel. But jumping into it, I'm like, it plays very similarly. That was one of the things we all noticed. We were like, it feels like the same gameplay loop. I mean, I'm aim like a third-person shooter, but generally the whole feel of the game is very, very similar. I don't know why or how, but it is, even though it's like just not a pixel art side-scroller game anymore. And then I feel like there's a lot more potential with like stuff you could do with it,
Yeah.
Versus, I don't know, another thing, I don't know why, but it just feels like there's more potential with what they could do with it.
Get a whole nother dimension.
Yeah. Well, a whole nother dimension to it too, yeah. Literally. Me and Jesse talked about how you could do like I was just saying, Jesse, that what if there was like a MOBA mode with it? You pick your guy, and then like and Jesse said, yeah, the items would work in the store really cool, or really interesting.
They could do like an editor for it pretty easily.
Oh, yeah, like an editor would be kind of neat.
That'd be pretty awesome.
Ooh, yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah, there were 6 levels in the first one.
Oh, Steam Workshop for that would be like so cool.
Like 6 like tiers.
Steam Workshop, they should do that once.
That would be so cool with that.
Yeah.
Steam Workshop. Yeah, that'd be really cool.
And in total, there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 different maps.
Oh wow, that's a lot more than I thought.
Yeah. Right now we have 6. So, wait, no, hold on. We have 8 right now.
Oh, jeez, my lag is back. Whew. All right. Anyway, all right. So now that I'm back in our timeline, yeah. I mean, I know people don't. I mean, not a lot of people watch this, but just for the sake of like acting like we have an audience, like Risk of Rain was a like space roguelite game.
Yeah.
For those wondering. And like all the items were, I guess roguelites always have like really weird items, and you like proc a bunch of crazy stuff. It's one of my favorite probably of the genre.
Oh yeah.
It's also probably one of the easier ones, honestly, because I could finish it. So that's. But.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, that's pretty much all I did was play the new stuff on that. I don't think I played any other games or watched anything else. Yeah, I've been slowing down. I haven't watched or played a lot of new stuff lately. So
yeah,
I don't think I talked about what I played.
I'll get back to playing Control and hopefully finish it. Let you guys know how I thought of the end.
Cool. Cool.
I don't think I mentioned what I played this week.
Steven, go for it.
So, I guess I'll mention like the first main one. Was I started playing Twilight Princess.
Oh, the Zelda, the Legend of.
Me and Jesse have been going through that, where we started like last Thursday. Jonathan, that's right, yeah. But yeah, it's pretty enjoyable so far. I'm probably like a 15th of the way through. We didn't get like super far.
No, you haven't even like near the first dungeon yet. So.
I don't even have the tunic yet.
Yeah, you're not even green.
But it's pretty cool so far. It seems really like, I don't know. I guess it feels like a Zelda game, but it doesn't feel as Zelda-y, if that's an adjective, as like some other Zelda games that I've played.
It's very moody.
Yeah. Because most Zelda games are like pretty... Well, maybe not most, but a lot of the Zelda games that I've seen and played are pretty colorful.
Mm-hmm.
And this one was kind of made, I think, this one was kind of made in like an era when like a lot of the games were going that brown, like
Yeah.
filter.
It
So
was made in
and they
that
did
era,
it good. It
and
still
it was-
looks cool.
It was also made basically to pander to the people that complained about Wind Waker.
Yeah,
Um,
which I guess was too cheerful and colorful.
yes, exactly.
Yeah,
So,
but it still kind of looks cool.
Yeah,
I think.
oh yeah, no,
Yeah.
it has a nice art style. It doesn't hold
Yeah.
up nearly as well as Wind Waker, but gameplay
Yeah.
wise, it still feels good to play. It still has an incredible narrative. And
Yeah, like I was noticing when I played it, the combat like felt really good for it. Like
It-
I wasn't really expecting like a Zelda game to have like combat that enjoyable. Like it's not like
oh, it gets
a
better
complex
and better.
like
Oh,
okay,
it
yeah,
gets, it gets more complex.
huh? Okay, interesting. I look forward to that because like I don't really expect Zelda games to have like a super
Mhm.
like awesome like combat system, but this one like
Yeah.
it was pretty fun.
Between this and Breath of the Wild, those are like the ones that have like real emphasis on combat. Skyward
Yeah.
Sword is kind of just gimmicky combat. It's fun if you're okay with the
Yeah.
motion controls. I enjoyed it, but
Yeah,
no, Twilight Princess, you're gonna see it's got some really neat stuff in there.
yeah. I found the story pretty easy to follow too because I felt like a lot of the Zelda games that I've seen, the story's like it's not hard to follow at all. It's just it's not as like
It reminds
It's
you
not
what's
as
going
clear
on
and
a
in your
lot
face.
of the time.
yeah, it's a lot easier to see like the
Yeah,
overarching story of what's in like the world that
Yeah.
like is happening.
that's like something that like Ocarina of Time definitely had a problem with because I know that's
Yeah.
when you played. Is that like once you get past the first 3 dungeons, it just says go do 8 more dungeons.
Yeah, it didn't. The Ocarina of Time, like, it didn't really. I think it still had that kind of old style of like
Yeah.
narrative
Mhm.
that those video games have, which wasn't really much of a narrative.
By
But-
Wind Waker, they started telling like stories and becoming more
Yeah.
narrative heavy. Even in Wind Waker, like there's a lot of narrative, but it still is less than Twilight Princess. Twilight Princess is like the Metal Gear Solid of Zelda games, where
Yeah.
it's just all story. And Skyward Sword almost goes too much with that, actually.
Right.
Because Skyward Sword is like 50% dialogue and cutscenes, and like the other 50% is like gameplay. So Skyward Sword is like half the time you're actually kind of waiting for something to happen, or like waiting to get to the point where you're going to play because there's just so much.
Right.
So,
Oh, he's back.
so what was the other thing, Steve?
So this one I guess I've kind of playing a little bit like not super extensively, but just kind of off and on whenever I have the chance. But like for the past couple weeks, but Pilot Wings, since they put that on like the Switch, I don't know why, but that game is so fun to play.
Did you get past that one level?
I have not yet. Like the one I got past on like I have not. No, the one I was playing at your house that I
Yeah.
eventually got past. I have not played that one yet. So I'm gonna have to do that. Maybe once the podcast is over, I'll do that. But it's weird because like that game's like flying controls feel like so much better than like the Mario Kart game that was released on the same console. Like I don't know why. It's just the flying controls in that game are like actually like really really good, which is like really weird. But I don't know. It's such a fun game, and like it seemed like it did a lot of like sort of like user friendly features that like games back then didn't really have
Yeah.
like at all. Like it actually it shows you the key mapping. And I don't think maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think a lot of games did that back then.
No.
A lot of games don't do that now.
It had it's true. It had like a big map for like the flying area that when you pause it like shows you like like a big map like you are here, and it shows you like the the airfield or wherever you're at, like where you are in relation to like wherever you need to land or something. It's like it's a really weirdly. It's a game that I feel like is better than it has any right to be.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's so fun. It's like a really simple game, but it's just really fun to play. Not a lot of bells and whistles, but frankly, it doesn't need it.
Yeah.
But yeah, Pilot Wings. I don't know why. It's just so fun to play.
It is kind of fun.
Mhm.
What I played this week, I had a great time this week because Link's Awakening for Switch came out. I don't have experience with the original Link's Awakening. I have it on my 2DS. I just haven't played it yet. I probably will just to say I've played it. But what a lovely, lovely remake Link's Awakening is. I mean, oh, it's so pretty. The music is nice. The atmosphere is really interesting because it's like both ultra cheerful and then goes to being really, really eerie. And I don't know if either of you know why it is. I kind of knew what it was going in.
Yeah.
But if you don't know sort of the plot of Link's Awakening, then I won't spoil it because it's really interesting.
Yeah, I think I already know some of it. But...
it's definitely one of those things that's literally been spoiled by the internet
thousands
times over.
Yeah.
Like, you've probably seen, like, it in the middle of, like, every Game Theory title, stuff like that. It's a really, really neat game, a really neat narrative. It's, again, not narrative heavy, because it was, you know, a 1993 Game Boy game. But it also has some really cool features that I would love to see return in future top-down Zelda games. Like that. The feather is like probably one of the best features in that Zelda game. I don't know if that was in any of the other ones, but you literally have a jump button. If you have the feather equipped, you literally could just jump in as like top-down Zelda games, and you jump over monsters, jump over like holes in the ground. It's just so satisfying. And like the jump is depending on your speed. So if you're sprinting, you jump further over more blocks, and it's.
That was one of the things that always bugged me about some of the other Zelda games that I played. Is like in Ocarina of Time, you could only backflip or like skip backwards, and I'm like, why can't I just jump? Like,
yeah, Breath of the Wild
or jump forwards.
Breath of the Wild, first 3D Zelda game to have a real jump button.
Oh, that's good.
And I'm looking forward to Breath of the Wild 2, adding even more stuff.
Are they actually going to call it Breath of the Wild 2?
No, it's probably going to be called like Breath of Darkness or something like that.
Okay, yeah, they should call it like something.
Yeah, no, they're not going to call it. They have never in the history of Zelda like added it.
Yeah, that wouldn't sound right.
Except for like Legend of Zelda 2.
Zelda 2, yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, not Legend of Zelda 2. Zelda 2, you're right.
Yeah.
So, very, very neat game. Had some really unexpected stuff for 1993 in there, which was in the original game.
Interesting.
In terms of just like, I wouldn't expect a game to do that. Other than that, the certain design elements don't hold up very well. Like, certain dungeon design elements, in my opinion, are very annoying and tedious. And certain things are a little weirdly paced in terms of difficulty, where it'll just randomly, you'll get something and you'll just be destroyed by it. And of course there are some times where you literally are sort of just at a loss of what to do, and even though I'd like, you know, been wandering around for 2 hours on certain parts, I still couldn't figure out how to progress. So I just looked it up. Like,
how many hours would you say like it took you to get to the end?
I don't know. Let's take a look. Let's take a look here. I would say maybe like 8 or 10. It's not a long.
Okay.
It's for sure not a long game.
Because that was like one of the main concerns I had. Like that, I didn't know if I wanted to spend $60 on that. Because like, like that for that much gameplay, you know.
Well, here's the thing: is that's just how much it took me to get to the end. There's like quite a number of other things I can do in the game as well. Because the thing about a Zelda game is it's really fun, like making sure you have all the items, making sure you've like done all the quest bits. Yeah, it's just fun to complete Zelda games. I've never really completed that many Zelda games because I love to not complete it. That way, when I go back, there's even more I can do.
Right.
But with probably gonna do the same with Link's Awakening. You know, next time I play through it, I'll probably complete even more. There's also a lot of fun mini games in there as well. So, Link's Awakening, super fun and a great and a great emotional journey, which is my segue into our host topic. So I have a kind of a reason for my particular host topic this week, which is pieces of media that have sent you on kind of an emotional journey.
I have a question about the host topic.
Yeah, and
so in our little, we have like a podcast agenda that we'll like have, and
for the host topic, it says, like game, movie, TV, or music, it took you on an emotional journey. And then it has, or any other kind of journey. What does that mean? I was looking at that and I'm like, what does that mean?
What kind of journey, Jesse?
Yeah, like, what are we talking here?
Look,
Like,
any kind of journey it took you.
I don't know.
But
Am I
this
tapping
guy
into the
in this
sixth sense
alley.
or something?
Yeah, this guy I gave in an alley gave me this paper bag. It was inside of it.
Oh, man.
There was this one
That was very
brownie
amusing.
I had. This brownie was amazing. Dude.
Oh, man.
Sent me on a journey.
Oh no, not that kind of journey.
So what did you mean by or any other kind of journey? And you also put it in quotes, which didn't know.
So I did put it in there kind of weird, yeah, because I thought it'd be funny. But I also
Okay.
like my thinking was like, not everybody's like gets super emotional about things.
Yeah,
So like I guess what I kind of meant is like a journey that it took you on a journey that just it really made you think, or really
Yeah.
it really intrigued
Okay.
you or fascinated you, or you got really
Yeah.
invested, kind of a thing.
Mhm.
Something that really stuck with you.
Yeah.
So something we really liked, basically.
But not necessarily in that sense.
Yeah.
Like some,
Okay.
like something that just took you on a journey.
an emotional or intellectual impact.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, I like that.
There you go. So for me, I've got a few things, but the reason I brought this up is because recently I finally decided to listen through Pink Floyd's The Wall all the way through, and that took me on an emotional journey,
Yeah.
and I've been obsessed with that
Yeah.
for the past like week and a half. So.
Oh,
It's a good album.
It is a very good album. Like, the thing about that is so many of the songs on that album I had heard before, but not
Yeah.
in the context. And because I now hear them in the context of the album, I'm enjoying them even more and in a different way. And it's so weird because I can't remember the context I used to think about them in. Because
Yeah.
all I know now is the context that they're in.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. I love that album.
Mm.
Yeah. So, before I go on to any of my others, why don't one of you take it? If any of
All
you
right,
have anything
well-
kind of...
Get ready for the Stephen and Luke's podcast.
yeah.
Our other podcast. Because we also talked about The Wall.
So Pink Floyd's The Wall is one of the I would put. No. Pink Floyd-
Because we also
What did
discussed
I
that
even-
album on our
I'm trying to
podcast.
remember because that's been like so long.
Mhm.
That's definitely one that never got posted. What did we even like? What did I even say? What was my
I
opinion about?
don't remember. I mean, I don't think it stuck with you as much as it did me. Had you heard it
No,
before that?
I mean, have I heard it before?
Did you hear it
No,
before we
that
listened
was
to it for the
the first time I
podcast? Okay. Yeah. I
No,
think
that was
you
the
I
first
think
time
you
I
enjoyed
listened
it,
to it.
but yeah, when I listened to it, it
I
stuck with me
definitely
quite a
liked
bit.
it. I was more into Pink Floyd's like non-concept albums. So,
Yeah.
Well, Dark Side of the Moon is that
It
really
is.
concept?
It's not as much of a narrative-based concept album.
Yeah.
Because
It's
The
kinda-
Wall's like it's got like a clear, distinct storyline, whereas The Dark Side of the Moon is like
Yeah.
it's kind of vague and it's supposed to be, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah.
And then Wish You Were Here, which is like not like all the songs are kind of like independent of each other, but I like all those songs a lot individually.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, but I haven't listened to The Wall. I think I probably listened to it that one time, maybe.
I
don't think
recommend like listening to
Yeah.
it more, or at least like looking into
Yeah.
the narrative, because like the
It's
more
definitely a
and
good
more-
second
Well, we
listen.
definitely looked into the narrative. We researched it for the podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Which I mean, might as well go sub to a little off the top on YouTube.
Yeah, yeah.
If I ever get posting. I gotta edit because I have to like edit. stuff
Editing is
that's
such a
so-
drag.
Yeah, I never have time to like try to do it. So like,
Honestly, we should probably just do it on YouTube like we're doing this, so we don't have to.
Yeah,
yeah, it might be smart. Yeah.
I have.
Or I could just post everything. I mean, I have all the audio posted
Yeah.
as is instead of
Mhm.
I
doing
just-
Go for it.
anything to it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
All right. So, what is taking you guys on an emotional journey? Something that's
Well-
stuck with you.
and that is kind of one of the beauty of listening to like the album format. If we're still talking about music and stuff,
Yeah.
is that it is from start to finish, it does put you on that emotional journey.
Mm.
There have been a lot of albums that have done that, for me. But I don't know. I'm trying to think of an example. There's a few. The main one I would think of is like probably about my favorite album, which I know Luke has at least heard me drone on and on and on about this album. But one of the reasons I like it so much is because like I listened to it at a time when I could like really connect with it. Not because I'm a communist, but you'll see why when I say that album. So my favorite album of all time.
The Soviet national anthem.
Yeah, I just love that. No, so my favorite. Yeah, just that got me through so many hard times.
Hey, that.
Oh yeah.
I love that song. But no, my favorite album of all time is London Calling by The Clash, and I heard that album for like I think it was a couple years ago.
I think I just recently got through that entire album.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. Fantastic album.
It really is. Like
it's a really good album.
When I was like a much younger, like teenager, I knew a couple of the songs off of it, but like, and I was like, yeah, this is pretty cool. But then like I actually listened to it all the way through like a couple years ago, and then I started loving it even more. And then like around when I got into like the very last semester of community college before I graduated, like that was like some of the hardest like work and studying I've ever had to do in my life. And there would be times where I'm just sitting in like the John Tyler Community College library after having like, worked 20 hours a week, not that hard, but when you tack it on to like, 40 or 60 hours of studying a week, you get pretty angsty. You get pretty angsty.
I want to overthrow the government.
Honestly,
right?
Yeah. And like,
communism.
Yeah. But there would be times like when I was just sitting in that library and I would get so like fidgety and angsty. And I would just go out and like, I would just get up all my stuff out of the library. I would get in my car and I would just pop in London Calling, and I would just crank it at like the volume in my car like so loud, and I would just drive around for like like 20 minutes and just blow off so much steam, just like, because it's like it's not that I could connect. So like like I said, I'm not a communist. It's not that I was like super connecting with like.
Are they even really communists though? They probably.
They were. They were like socialists at the least, but like no, but yeah, they're like, I mean, their lyrics are incredible, but like a lot of the lyrics I don't really connect with just because like I can't relate. But I would just go and listen to my car, and like it was just such like powerful like guttural music, like visceral, like it would just like push me. It would get rid of all the angst, all like the fidgetiness. It was so powerful.
Well, Steven, have you ever heard of this thing called music?
See, my problem with metal music is like, for me, this is like a personal thing. I don't like to start out at like 10. I like to have like, for me, 10 becomes a lot more powerful when you start out at like, 1 or 3 and you go up and up and then all the way up to 10. Like, I like to have that roller coaster ride,
Yeah. Honestly, I think that there's a lot, like if you really dive into it, like I know as somebody who knows nothing about metal music, I think there is some like melodic metal. So,
no, for sure. Like that's why I say it's a personal thing.
Yeah, Jesse, we've turned it into our podcast. Oh no, that's fine. Like,
from the moment you mentioned like an album, like all hope is lost.
Okay, guys, this man will not shut up about the Clash. This guy, I don't know if I'm pointing at him.
You are not pointing at him.
I'm like, guy over here.
There you go.
Yeah.
This man will not shut up about the Clash.
Oh,
it's like
a
they're a really good punk band. Like me and Steven like punk. We both like around the same time have discovered that punk music is like incredible and has influenced. Like for me, it's influenced like a lot of modern like indie rock music that I enjoy. So like punk music has just laid the groundwork for that, and there's a ton of good punk bands. But this guy only talks about one of them.
I like other punk bands. That's just like by far my favorite.
Your favorite one, yeah. Well, London Calling's a really good album.
Yeah, it is.
I finally like listened to the other half of it or something. Like I always have it on Spotify, and I'm like, okay, I've gotten through half this album before. Just listen to the whole thing, and was like, yeah. It's the best Clash album I've heard for sure.
Oh, for sure.
Well,
yeah.
Awesome.
But yeah, that album has like had a both. I guess that would be an emotional impact.
It sounded like you went on an emotional journey going through that.
Yeah, and that album, like, there's been many times where I've like had a rough, day or week or season, and I've just like popped that album in. I'll just listen to it from start to finish, and it's just. Like,
I mean. If we want to like do that, probably like the album I always put on whenever I'm having a rough day,
Is
or
Spice
whenever
Girls
I.
by the Spice
Hold on. Let's talk about some Spice Girls.
Oh
first.
no.
Forget what I was about to say. Let's talk about some Spice Girls. When I'm in the need,
Honestly,
when I'm needing some funk, when I'm needing some just like some energy, you put on some Spice Girls.
Spice Girls is honestly an emotional journey. It's like
Of
for
hatred.
some reason, me and Jesse
Disgust.
have objected to like dumbing Spice Girls, and I don't know why. But it's just recently came up. We just talked about it. I think some character in The Boys talked about it or something.
Yes, listening to Carl
That's what
Urban
triggered
talk
it?
about the Spice Girls is maybe the greatest thing ever.
That does sound really good, honestly.
Oh.
I haven't watched that, so he just talked about Spice Girls, and I was like, yeah, I mean, I know that one song from them, and I was like, here's that song. When I tell you what I want, it's probably not even their best song. but
My
it's
favorite
the most
part
famous
about the Spice Girls is when they just kind of start talking to each other in the middle of the song.
Oh yeah.
Oh, we couldn't come up with any more melody or lyrics or like chords. I just start talking.
Steven, come on. Like, they've got, like, their songs must be good. They have, like, 6 people writing.
That's true. That's true. They have to be talented. They got like
Yeah.
like a whole conference room of people writing their songs.
Conference people, a room of people writing it.
Uh,
Well, anyway, yeah, just like,
I'm glad we did our
pop in
Spice Girls
general.
bit.
Oh man.
All right, so back to what I was about to say though, before the Spice Girls took over my life, is the album that I always go to whenever I'm having a rough time. It just makes me happy every time I listen to it. It's "Photographs and Memories" by Jim Croce. Just every single time I listen to the whole thing, it's got slow parts, it's got faster parts, it's got emotional parts, and it's got lighthearted parts. It's just. And Jim Croce's lyrics and music
You're such a
is
great
just,
songwriter.
oh my gosh. I Got a Name is like one of if not my favorite song of all time.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It's just incredible.
Yeah,
So,
I think Operator's my favorite of his.
Operator's fantastic. Photographs and Memories, the song is fantastic. Lover's Cross, fantastic. I Have to Say I Love You in a Song, fantastic.
That's a good one. I love that.
There's just so many good ones on that album. Like every single song on that album, I love.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, his life story's pretty interesting.
yeah,
It took him quite a while to like get successful.
yeah, and didn't last quite long enough.
Yeah, but he did a lot of good, songs in his lifetime. So
Yep. So yeah, go listen to Jim Croce. That's my advice. So in terms of like movies or games, show that took me on an emotional journey. Show that did that. First time I watched through either Gravity Falls or Star versus the Force of Evil. I love animation, but like for Gravity Falls, by the time you get to the end of that, it's just like, whew, that's some good stuff. And Star, for me, it was just, that was a particular time in my life where, like, I was in a very, very unstable situation with my job, school, relationships, friendships. Just everything was going crazy. And, like, that show, like, kind of had, like, a level of, like, drama, specifically in seasons 2 and 3, that I really, like, connected with the characters. And I really felt what they were going through. And I know it's dumb because it's a stupid cartoon, but a
lot of times that's what like defines what your favorite stuff is. It's just like the fact you can relate with it and that like it connects with what you're going through at the time. Like that was what it was with me in like London Calling.
Yeah. So it was like Gravity Falls is amazing, but that's the reason. Like you all saw me like talk about Star versus the Force of Evil way more often. It's just because I really connected with that show a lot at the time. Like everything, like like a lot of the characters went through relationship wise. I went through almost the exact same kind of things. So, in terms of games, Undertale. I think everyone can say that. But a lesser played one is One Shot. One Shot is a very, very neat game that I highly recommend. At least Steven play, Luke. I'm not sure you'd be quite into it because I know you're very much a mechanic guy. you're into game mechanics, and like it's very much just sort of like a narrative game. It has
Right.
like cool mechanics, and it does like fourth wall breaking in a way that no other game I've ever seen does it. But I don't know if that would be enough for you to like want to go through it.
Possibly, I'd have to look at it. I've never heard of it actually. So
Yeah, you've seen the character from it before for sure.
One Shot.
Yep. You have one for sure seen the character from One Shot before.
Oh yeah. Holy crap. Okay.
I highly recommend it. It's got a really, really good atmosphere. The music isn't necessarily as like good or catchy as Undertale, but it's good in its own right. In that it really works for the atmosphere. It's a neat game. I'd say if I would compare it to anything, it's just kind of like a point and click, really. You know, collect item here, collect item there, combine items, bring it over here. But there's also a good amount of fourth wall breaking that you have to do, especially near the end of the game. Some of which requires you to actually go into the files of your own computer, and do some neat stuff there. But there's something that the game does at the very, very end, which I'm not going to spoil, and you guys can't predict it, so I'm not worried about talking about it too much. It's just a really neat thing that the game did that I was just like, oh my gosh, that was beautiful, kind of a thing.
How long is the game?
Like maybe 4 or 5 hours.
Okay.
You definitely need to. It kind of pulls an Undertale where it has like a fake ending and then a real ending. And
so that's really like 8 or 10 hours.
No.
Okay.
The thing about it is, I'm just gonna like. It's probably best to say this just because, if I basically, the way the game works is that you go through it and then you kind of have like a few different endings you can get at the end. But they later added an update that added like a real true ending, and the way you get that is you don't have to play through the whole game again. You do have to start it over, and you have to activate something. And as long as it's your second playthrough and you activate this thing, the game completely changes the narrative on you.
It's a lot more my speed.
Yeah.
That's a lot more my speed, because I my whole deal with Undertale is just like I don't feel like going through this again.
I get that.
Oh no, Jesse, you didn't warn me before I started that.
What, Undertale?
On Undertale, yeah.
Well, here, I think I already told you, as long as you keep the pacifist route, you don't have to go through it again.
Oh, okay, yeah.
As long as you...
did Steven
yeah, Steven, I think...
I just played it normally. I did whatever I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That's fair. Okay. I didn't know that was, I thought that was the way he said that.
No, you don't
Yeah,
actually...
I was just like,
Yeah.
I'll tell you how my ending works, because I'm going to go pacifist route since that's the good ending.
Yeah. It's the true ending. It's not necessarily just the good ending. Like, the game actually has...
But just the true one.
Yeah. Steven, once again, I will continue to pester you to actually play through it again. And
I'll do it sometime.
I know you will.
It's just like...
Let's do it for the
I
channel.
wish y'all had told me, like, before... Well, actually, I
played it before
y'all,
us.
So. I wish Will had told me, because he was the one I ever just, like, talked to it about.
Yeah.
And he was like, play through it normally, but...
Yeah, and
I mean,
now
if I had more time, that would have been fine, but, like, I was just like, I did not want to play through it again.
I'm gonna yell at Will because I'm gonna be like, you realize you've ruined the game for Steven because he'll never actually go through, like, the emotional journey that is the real ending.
Let's play... Steven, do you want to play through it for the channel?
I mean, maybe, I don't know.
I know Jonathan...
It might not be as interesting.
Well, here's the thing is I know Jonathan wants to also play through it with Steven as well on the Switch version.
What?
One last game I would like to... One last game I would definitely like to, and if you guys...
Don't steal mine.
I don't think I'm gonna steal yours here. Is not To the Moon. To the Moon is amazing, but its sequel, in my opinion, was way more impactful on me.
What was...
Don't spoil it for me.
I'm not going to.
sequel?
yeah.
I'm not.
Okay.
The sequel is called Finding Paradise, and it is a direct sequel. Takes place, after the first one. Something about the story, and I know what it is. I'm not going to spoil it because Steven hasn't played it and you haven't played it, but the tone of the story was different, and whereas the first one is like, you know, kind of a downer, the tone of the second one is different in a way that's just like, it got me a lot more than the first one. And the first one got me a lot, but the second one is like, it made me think a lot more. It actually, like, the first one doesn't have a real message. The second one has a real message that, like, resonated with me, and I feel like probably would resonate with pretty much anybody if they actually take the time to understand the message. It just, when I played through it, I was blown away because I didn't expect it to be as good as the first one, just because, you know, I don't think that's a good expectation to have whenever you go through a sequel. Because I think it's better to be blown away. That could be taken funny out of context. Steven, no!
You know, that person,
Oh, that sequel's amazing!
Yeah. I don't know. I like not having the best expectations for sequels because I find I enjoy them more, because the likelihood of it matching up to the first one is already lower. And I feel like you should never set yourself up for disappointment. You should always set yourself up to get the most enjoyment possible out of something, so... But beyond that, to the moon...
Me and Steven are yawning, I'm sorry.
Oh, it's late. It's late. No, I know you're bored. But yeah, To the Moon 2, I guess, just Finding Paradise is the real name of it. You don't need to play a Bird Story to understand it. A Bird Story is like the little mid-quill game that was released before Finding Paradise. That's also pretty good, but again, that's not an emotional journey. That's just very artsy, abstract kind of storytelling that one has. It's neat, though. So, anybody have anything else?
Yeah. So as far as games, I think the only one I can really think of that I had a real emotional journey probably with is Brothers: A Tale of Two.
Yeah.
Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons is a fantastic game. I say it's a must play for anybody who's into games, just because the control scheme, the way you control the game, you have one joystick and is one brother, one joystick is the other brother from another mother? No.
Same mother.
Same father, that's for sure.
That's not same mother, that's pretty much obvious.
I think the buttons, didn't everybody have a button too? Like,
yeah, each of the two brothers had their own like, button, yeah. And the button was just kind of a do everything button.
Right. Yeah, so it's a really simple control scheme. There's not much to it, but like the brother, like, you have to do different puzzles, and you kind of have to think about it individually. It wasn't too hard to figure out what to do with, like, each brother. But, yeah, you walk here, and then they come back and do the thing. But, like, when you have to, like, push a rock or do whatever the puzzle is, you're basically clenching the controller, right? So you get that, like, tension and release from it. It's just, I've never seen a game kind of do that, where, like, the controls interface with how you play the game. Or, like, not how you play the game, with how you interact and feel, how you feel like what the characters are feeling, sort of. It's really interesting, and just that, and environments and the worlds and the journey you go through. It's like, it is an emotional journey. You get, you're like, some of it's like whimsical and wonderful. Most of it's like actually kind of dark, honestly.
Yeah.
You just get like feelings of uneasiness. You get everything, and it kind of hits everything as you go through the game. So just like, hands down, fantastic game. I want to replay it. I keep telling myself to replay it.
Yeah.
But I'll do that eventually. I'll replay it.
Yeah, I've gone through it myself like a couple of times, and it's definitely a fantastic journey. I will say, parts of it are definitely more impactful if you have a certain dynamic, especially a certain family dynamic.
I could see that. I feel like it's general enough that like
it is.
I feel like anybody kind of get into it.
It really worked well on me and Jonathan, because me and Jonathan have a very, very, very similar brotherly relationship to the two characters in the game. So whenever one was angry at the other, or one was upset, we got that very, very we connected very strongly to that. So
right. Okay. Yeah.
So very
Yes.
very good game.
And see, as far as movies, I could think of a ton of movies. Like I can't think of a ton of movies. Top one.
The thing about like movies is it's kind of harder to go through an emotional journey in a movie because it's only like
Most movies
2
are going to be
hours.
more of an intellectual journey.
Yeah, like TV shows, that's an emotional journey.
That's a very weird take, honestly. Not like it's not that it's incorrect. It's just I wouldn't have
Yeah.
thought.
Now,
I mean,
maybe,
maybe that's what
a
it is
movie
more for
would
me,
have-
but like,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, I think with movies, it's more, it's just a more thinking activity, whereas like, you know,
Depends on the movie.
yeah, I mean, let's, you know, unless it's like a silent film, I guess, where, you know, there's no lyric or words or anything, but like, you know, I feel like with music, it's, you know, it's music, that's that, and so that's going to be, you know, just based off the fact that it's music, a lot of times it's going to be, not always, but, you know, an emotional thing. But like with movies, I mean, it's, you know, I don't know, for me at least, and I feel like most people would be a lot more of an intellectual, you know, journey.
yeah,
You know?
like maybe with
I
like
feel
a
like most
movie
people-
series,
yeah.
you can get more emotion out of it. Like Harry Potter. By
Yeah,
the time
I can
you
see
get-
that, because
by the-
there's like characters you can keep up with.
Yeah, like by the time you get to the end of Harry
Yeah.
Potter, it's an emotional journey.
See, I feel like
Yeah.
most people
Or Lord of the
would,
Rings.
wouldn't. I don't feel like that'd be most people's opinion, but I haven't asked
Yeah.
a lot of other people about
Mhm.
it.
Well,
Not a
like
discussion I've gotten into.
when I
before.
think of like
Because for a movie, like you know, you can have an emotional journey with it quick. It's not like the same as something long
well,
form,
the thing,
but it's
the thing
like,
for you, the thing is, it's like
Yeah.
the emotional journey for you. You have a lot less time to go through that emotional journey. You have a
Yeah.
lot less time to
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
connected for a movie. Whereas like
Unless it's like a big series, you know, like you
Yeah.
know the MCU or Lord of the Rings or Harry Potter.
yeah,
That's a lot more easy
Well-
to have an emotional journey with that as opposed to like
movie
you know,
a singular
a single movie.
a singular movie you can go through an emotional journey is the Lego movies.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, like
Yeah,
those
that's
with
kinda
like stuff
emotional.
like you know, Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons. Like it's relatable. A lot
Yeah.
of those movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying is like you can definitely have an emotional journey with a movie.
It's
Yeah.
just
Like
it's less common.
A lot of
it's-
times they're going to be so fantastical and dramatic. It's not going to be super relatable a lot of times, depending on your movie taste, of course. You know,
well, yeah.
like I
like,
can't really relate to like Star Wars. You know,
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Breaking Bad. Probably the perfect.
I can relate to that. Thank you.
Well, no. The thing is
There
about
we go.
that is that
Finally something I can relate to.
Yes.
the thing about that though is
Thank
the
God.
performances are so realistic. You do relate to all the characters.
Yeah, that's like both an emotional and intellectual journey.
Luke,
That
watch
show.
through that show. For
Oh man,
for-
that's
for
one of the best television shows ever
For the
made.
love of TV, watch through that show.
Like we were watching an episode of that the other day, before we were playing like Man and Medan, and like we were watching a particular scene. I knew what was gonna happen. I had seen it before, but it was like I was getting like my heart was pounding because like even though I already knew what happened, it was so well done.
Yeah, no, that
Oh.
show is one of the great. It probably is the greatest show ever made.
Yeah, if it's not the most, it's easily one of the best TV shows ever created.
Yeah,
It
just
really
on
is
a
a masterpiece.
production level by
Yeah.
itself, like the cinematography is like better than
Yeah.
like 90% of shows out there.
Oh, for sure.
Like
And it's better than like the cinematography is better than most movies.
yeah,
easily.
the acting is. I'm pretty confident saying it is the best acting I've ever seen in anything.
Yeah.
Like it's just absolutely incredible. Yeah, El Camino's coming out.
Yeah, I'm pretty hyped for that, even though I haven't watched like much of the trailers.
Yeah.
I don't know if how much. I don't know. This might be getting off topic, but like, how much does it actually show the trailer?
Barely
Just
anything.
in
Barely
vague terms,
anything.
barely anything.
It
Okay.
shows cinematography. It shows a few shots that really don't spoil anything, and it literally like shows like characters that you know are gonna be in it anyway, so it's not a spoiler that they're there.
Right.
So,
Okay.
I say watch the most recent trailer. It's all you need.
Okay.
It literally is like it's a work of art. The trailer itself because of how little it actually spoils.
Okay. Yeah, watch it. It's really incredible. It's a journey
It's a journey.
of
So-
all types.
So, anyway, movies that I had an emotional journey with.
I can
So-
see you have a smile on your face right now, and I'm not confident you're gonna give us a real answer.
Yeah, I was just laughing because,
Birdemic.
like, we talked about TV for like 10 minutes after I mentioned movies. But
Yeah,
I don't know. I think a lot of Pixar movies, it's different for different people.
Yeah.
For Pixar movies, all you have an emotional journey with.
Coco. I don't know if either of you saw Coco.
Yeah, Coco's good. Coco, I mean, I already told you I watched Coco a second time. I didn't mind all the it's like it has a lot of the goofy stuff for kids, and it was kind of like it's fine, yeah, but obviously it ends off like in such an emotional way.
Yeah,
but a lot of it's backloaded. A lot of that stuff you need the first part, which is good, has some emotional stuff. It's mostly the middle part. I don't know. You watch Coco though. Coco's a good movie.
It's probably my favorite one of if not my favorite Pixar movie right now.
Wow. Yeah. My favorite one is probably still. I haven't seen it in a while, so it could my opinions could change. But from memory, one of my favorites has been Up. I think Up has a really good.
Up's good.
That one front loads a lot of the emotion. That shows you like you can have a freaking emotional film in like it took 20 minutes, and that's most of the emotional part of the movie, and the rest of the movie is just fun and whimsical.
Yeah,
and it has a lot of fun with it. Great, really good movie.
Good movie.
Visually, it's really good. But that's a good example.
Yeah.
But guys, Cars 2. No.
Cars 2.
I feel like you guys.
Oh man, they got to get rid of those fossil fuels. It's just.
Yeah, or whatever that movie was. Yeah, I didn't. Hate
was that actually a thing in that movie?
Yes. No, it was a spy movie about basically somebody trying to like disprove this like efficient non-fossil fuel. And the spies were like, we can't let him do it.
Was that what it was?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
That's what it was.
All I remember is they tortured a car and then it exploded off saw the silhouette. And it was freaking gruesome. Like, I know, like, Pixar does that, but I was like, jeez, what the heck? I was like, the car's just like, you could see a shadow. Can you see my shadow?
Yeah.
A
little bit.
Yeah, I can see your shadow.
Like, you just see the shadow. It's like, it's like I was like, what the heck? And I was
That's
like,
amazing.
And then they cut to a scene like eating like wasabi and thought it was ice cream, and he's like, dang, this is spicy. Now here's a scene of a car being tortured to death. That was that movie.
That's great.
No, yeah, every Cars movie sucks. Which I saw it as a kid. I didn't care. It was like whatever. So I don't know. If I watched them now, I'd have to see what I think about it. But yeah, Pixar movie. Interestingly enough, when you guys talked about an emotional journey in a movie, the one that I thought of for some reason was just Interstellar.
Oh yeah, no, I can see that.
Because like, there's one really emotional scene that I loved. I loved the reveal. I was like, wow, I didn't think that they were going to show that kind of experience on screen, and then they did, and then like this like just this journey of like, I don't know, it's an emotional for me, and that's the movie that
his acting sells it in that movie, I think.
Yeah, it's mostly him too. I don't know if any of the other actors really put as much in as
he was kind of carrying the acting.
He carried the movie really. Which is fair. I mean, like,
gosh, I'm sorry. I just watched that car scene.
You can drop that in chat. I'm gonna watch that afterward.
Is this the one? Oh gosh!
It's probably, if that's your reaction, that's the scene. Drop it in the chat. But yeah, like, that Interstellar was like, it's like considered his. Like, I think it's considered like his worst movie.
Well, that's dumb.
It's like,
I mean, all his movies are great.
Yeah, all his movies are great. I mean, I guess it's saying the worst Nolan movie is still like a good movie.
Yeah.
But, like, most people are just kind of like, oh god, it's like whatever. And I was like,
yeah.
I'm like, what is that? Like, most people I talk to,
I think his worst would be like maybe like one of the odd one out like Batman movies or like Memento or something.
Well, no, the third Batman movie probably.
Yeah.
But
Dunkirk was great, but I feel like even Interstellar was better than Dunkirk.
Ooh, I might agree with you.
I might agree as well. Dunkirk was
Interstellar is
amazing,
like one of my favorite movies. But
Interstellar had a specific, like, kind of a scope that, like, you know, not a lot of movies have.
Man. Interstellar's so good. I don't understand people's
people are dumb.
for it. Yeah, it's like, well, it's
because it's not Batman or Inception. honestly.
Yeah, it's like it didn't have enough emotion. And it's like Nolan movies aren't the like he has that intellectual journey.
Yeah.
That's the only movie that has an emotional journey attached to it. To me,
Yeah.
you know, not just an intellectual journey. At least from the
I
that I
mean,
can think of.
Prestige has an
Dunkirk,
emotional
maybe.
journey.
Prestige kind of has an emotional journey a little bit. Yeah,
Prestige
that one's
has,
an
like,
intellectual.
Prestige is my favorite movie of all time. I'll say
Prestige
it
It's
now,
my
and I'll say
favorite
that.
Nolan movie.
Yeah.
It's certainly my favorite Nolan movie still, but Interstellar is like a close, maybe a close.
Yeah, I think Prestige is better, but Interstellar I like more because I saw Prestige like a long time ago when I was younger, and I didn't really get it until I
Get
watched
it,
it like years later. So
Oh man, but yeah, Interstellar is an emotional and intellectual journey.
Yeah.
and it's excellent.
Yes,
and
yes, it is.
people are stupid. People who review movies on YouTube, you're dumb for not liking Interstellar because that's a
There
great
we go.
movie.
There we go.
It helped me get
Inception's
into Nolan
overrated.
movies. Like I think that like when did that come out? Because it's probably embarrassing. But it's like I
2014?
was kind of like 2014.
Interstellar, yeah, it was like 2014 or
sure.
something.
I'm trying to think if I watched a Nolan movie before that. I know that's really
You probably saw Inception.
silly.
Yeah, it was 2014. I was
Inception?
right.
I think I saw Inception afterwards, even though everybody was hyped about that one.
That movie, Inception's good, but it's overrated. I'm sorry.
No,
It's
I
really overrated,
disagree.
but I need to rewatch
I
it.
disagree for one reason. I think it's
Did-
so
Did you
overrated
hear
it's
people
underrated.
talking about it constantly,
Yeah.
though, Jess?
But it was
No.
like people were nuts about that movie when
Back
it
when
came
it
out.
came out, yeah. Now everyone hates it because it was overrated then.
I don't hate it. It's
Oh,
just
really?
like
I didn't know that.
No, you never hear anybody talk about it now, and when they do, everyone's just
Yeah.
like, "Oh yeah, that movie was just kind of overrated back then." I'm like, so now it's at the point that it's so overrated, it's underrated because that's a good movie, and nobody ever
Yeah,
talks about
it
it
is.
because of the excuse of like, "Oh yeah, everyone talked about it too much back then." I'm just like, okay, fine, ignore the fact that it's a good movie. So,
it
I
is a
haven't
good
seen it.
movie.
I
It's just
wanna
not
watch
as
it
good as
again,
people made
just
it
to
out to
kinda,
be.
like,
no, not
now
back
that I
then
know-
for sure.
I know what my expectations are for the film now, so like going into it, I probably would like get
Yeah.
more out of it.
It's a
Focus more on
it's
the
a cool
themes
film.
and stuff.
It is a cool
Yeah.
film.
It was always really cool. It's just I don't know.
It's okay.
Yeah, when I heard people talk so much about it, it's kind of like it just kind of ruins it. It's like any movie, you know.
Yeah. Same thing got happened with the second Batman.
Mhm.
'Cause-
Yeah. Well, second
Yeah.
Batman, I still went into it and was like, yeah, okay, I get it. This is really cool.
I enjoyed it quite a bit.
Yeah.
All right. I
Let's
think
watch this car scene.
we'll just watch that car scene.
We'll watch it too.
Just I recommend just skipping to the end because that's like where it is. You know, you don't have to watch the whole thing because it is like little bit long. Just like skip to like the last like 10 seconds of it or whatever. Like, jeez.
This is great content.
All right, so while we do that, we're gonna go ahead and move on to the next segment as I drop my sunglasses. And I think because we went super long, I think I'm gonna cut some segments.
Yeah, I don't have anything for reboot, so cut that
That's
one.
fine. I think we'll just do Dog of the Day, a random SCP. I'll cover news really quickly, and then we'll go ahead and wrap it up. All right, did you see the car explode?
I did.
Was it gruesome?
I have to watch it again, like later on.
That's okay. I'm pretty sure that's the scene, but that is not how I remember it.
Did you post the right link?
Yeah, I
Huh.
did. All right, Steven, what
I
is...
literally remember you see his shadow, and he's just maybe it's because it's so low res.
Yeah, it seemed like I felt like I
I
was
felt like
missing
it was
something.
pretty visually visceral, like watching him die. Like just his silhouette of this car, just like. "Ah!" I remember him screaming. That's the thing. I don't. I
Maybe
didn't
it's
hear
a
him
different scene.
screaming.
Maybe it happens twice in the movie. Who knows?
He just
I
they
think
put
it's-
him back together and kill him again.
Oh! Yeah.
Uh,
The Brave Little Toaster or something.
oh
Oh,
gosh,
no.
don't talk to me about that. I haven't even seen the movie and I'm depressed.
I want to watch that movie just to watch that awful scene where they take a car and just mash it. That'll look-
Yeah, and then
car
one-
that
then
looks
one
sentient.
commits suicide right there on screen.
Oh, I forgot!
I'm not even kidding.
That's an emotional journey.
That yeah. All right, Steven, what is the dog of the day? Please.
All right.
What's that Doge?
This little guy's name is Doc Bogdanovich.
Bong? Oh
Dog-
my god! I was hoping you would
Bogdanovich.
Finally.
Bogdan, like from Breaking Bad.
Yes, yes.
All right.
That is pretty cute. That one is kind of on crack though a little bit.
Yeah, he is.
I think
Look at this little
he
guy.
has a coked out dog.
All right, putting this in front of Steven's
there you
face.
Is that like an older, more masculine our friend Jacob?
It is.
That's like if Jacob just injected testosterone. Well,
Oh, that's hysterical.
he's probably never gonna watch this.
He's never gonna see it either.
Oh, there's one of him wearing a cute Hawaiian shirt.
The dog or the dude?
Yeah, the dog, not our friend.
Oh, look at that.
Oh my god, that dog has like a weirdly coked out human face.
Like, look at
Yeah.
that. Look at that. Look at that dog. That is a.
Why does that? That's creeping me out. That guy looks like a combination of Jacob and somebody.
Steven,
That's crazy.
this is a quality dog.
He really is.
That's a really good dog. Corgis are so good.
They're like one of the only small dogs I like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was also one of the best characters in Infinity Train.
Infinity Train, yeah. Would you say Infinity Drain? Infinity Drain?
Oh no!
Would you say Infinity Train gave you a bit of an emotional journey?
I feel like if it was longer, it would have.
Yeah, it gave me a little bit.
Yeah.
Just one episode in particular. I was like, oh, the one we never. Yeah.
It was really, really neat, but it didn't get me a huge amount. It definitely made me think. Definitely gave me more of an intellectual journey, but emotional, a tiny bit, yeah.
Hopefully, the second season they can do more episodes with.
Yep.
Tell the
Alrighty.
story they want.
I'm gonna click on the random SCP
Oh,
button.
I have one. I have an SCP.
Oh, okay, go.
All right, everyone to go to the SCP Foundation website.
All right. What number?
All right. 4319.
Oh my, that's a big
Sounds
one.
familiar.
This is a big one. Oh, what the heck?
What the flip? Wait,
what in the world is this SCP? It's not even a joke SCP. Alright, I'm putting this over you, Steven.
Wait, hold on. Did I click on the right thing?
No, you're on the right thing. If you're seeing a ton of pink, you're on the right thing.
What happened?
It's just girly things, you know?
Just girly things?
I was just browsing SCPs the other day and I found this.
Like, man.
But no, there's like an actual like story to it. There's a quiz.
Alright, so what is it?
It was like a week or two ago that I looked at it, but like
So I don't remember.
I don't
Should I do
remember.
this
It's
quiz?
I think yes, do the quiz.
What would be your ideal day? Finding your most treasured item at a thrift, redoing one of your worst moments and fixing it, getting revenge on who hurt you, seeing someone you can never see again. Let's see.
If you click on the hearts, it'll like describe what it is.
What the SCP is?
Yeah.
Alright.
SCP-4319 is an internet blog site under the name Just Girly Things. The anomaly of 4319 manifests in its ability to totally help out girls big time, trying to stop this boringness but doing what we can. The Foundation first became aware of SCP-4319 after researcher Redacted had accessed the site using Foundation technology. Researchers spontaneously began altering baseline reality, causing all objects in her immediate vicinity to take on traditionally feminine qualities, such as heart-shaped pillows, pink hues, floral wall decor, jewelry, makeup brushes, frilly curtains, etc. Researcher attacked Dr. Lena, claiming she was a fake woman. A security breach took place soon after, causing the evacuation of Site Redacted. Researcher is now quarantined at Redacted Site.
What a weird SCP. It's just like it's an anomalous website that just when you interact with it, it just makes you make everything feminine.
Yeah.
And girly. What a interesting SCP. Alrighty. Good SCP, Steven. I like that. It's unique. It's unique. All right, I'm gonna cover my news.
All right.
Call of Duty Modern Warfare looks pretty tight.
What's this campaign thing?
Have you seen it?
I've seen like news about it, and I was like, "Wait,
Did you
I thought
see
they
the
weren't
trailer?
having a campaign."
Okay, one.
And then
I don't know where you got that idea because they never said
Okay.
that.
They did that for the last game.
They did it for the last one,
Yeah,
but
I don't know,
they
maybe I heard rumors or something.
At the moment they can like announce this one, they confirmed there was going to be a campaign.
Okay, maybe I was thinking they weren't. It wasn't going to be connected to the old Modern Warfare.
It's
I
not.
think that's what
yeah,
I heard.
It's not going to be connected. If you haven't seen the trailer, watch the trailer. It looks
Okay.
really interesting. It looks really cool. I am going to play this campaign for sure. Yeah. So, yeah, it looks really interesting. Hopefully, I've heard it's going to be very decision based, so you're going to be making a lot of like story choices, I think. So
That's kind of interesting for a COD game.
well, Black Ops 2 did that actually.
Oh,
With its
well,
That was
never
one
mind.
that
I
like
don't
the
think
campaign
I'll
that people
do it,
universally liked.
Yeah, everybody liked the Black Ops 2
Yeah.
campaign.
That's a good sign, actually.
Yeah, so hopefully it is like that. And this is going to be a very dark
I know,
campaign from what
yeah.
it looks like.
I know cursory information, so like
Yeah.
just every time I hear it.
It looks really cool. I can't wait. Dude, Bee Simulator
Ugh.
begins countdown to launch November 14th.
Yes! I can be Barry B. Benson.
Hold on, let me confirm. No, he just plays a realistic looking bee in a very low
Oh.
resolution New York, it looks like. But hey, it's in
So,
New York.
so the B movie.
It's the Bee movie.
It's the B movie.
It's the B
Show
movie.
me this B movie. B movie, the game.
Oh shoot, I clicked off of it already.
Oh, you.
Just like it's just called
Son of a
Bee
gun.
Simulator, I'm pretty sure. Apparently Sony is opening an online store for PlayStation 4 consoles, accessories, and games. So I guess they just have their own online store now, like browser store.
Huh.
Interesting.
How do they not already have?
Hulu's Ghost Rider TV show is not going to be happening, apparently.
Oh.
Yeah, I heard about that.
It-
I thought that was just
Question, is anybody upset, though?
I think
I'm
there was
not like
people who were
Relieved. I mean, it would have been cool to have it, but I don't know if I would have watched it.
Well, here's the thing: is that the Ghost Rider that they had connected to Agents of Shield, I think they were going to use the same guy,
Yeah.
Huh.
and he's one of the best parts of that thing.
Ah.
Even
Interesting.
though like he was basically like not as good as the comic book version, because like literally it's a guy that has like a, so it's like already like a car is not a motorcycle. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's a very cool car, but like when you see him like cruising with the Avengers and stuff, it's like, oh yeah, that's lame compared to having a motorcycle.
Yeah.
He was a Latino superhero, so you don't see that
Yeah.
too, I guess. And then in the comics, like here's what's really cool: so you don't care about Agent, right?
Not hugely, no.
Okay, so basically what happens like is that he's immediately different because the comic book is apparently a guy that's possessed with some sort of spirit, I guess. Not the Ghost Rider spirit or anything, but he takes on the mantle. One of those kind of things, like one of those weird comic book things. Marvel likes to do that, where it's like, I took the mantle, I have none of the same power, any of the same origin or anything. I just took on the same identity. Because I can, I guess. I don't know. They're not going to stop me. Are they going to sue me? They're not. So that's basically how that worked out. In the show, it was obvious that he had like the Ghost Rider powers, like because he could like turn into the Ghost Rider, like skull on fire, all the good stuff. Had the powers in there that he has. So it was like immediately on Ghost Rider powers. And so, what was the name of the guy? I'm trying to remember the name of the guy that's Ghost Rider in the original one, but like he's a stunt driver, right? So you could see a poster in the background in one episode for that guy. Everybody was like, "Oh, Ghost Rider," like original Ghost Rider reference. So I forget how one of the episodes he was just talking about how, like he became Ghost Rider when he got in a car accident. He got flung out of his and on the side of all you see is like somebody roll up in a motorcycle, get off, and I was like, oh my gosh. And it's like it turns that it's the original Ghost Rider, and he just passes on his powers to him and drives off. It was like the best thing that ever happened in that whole stupid show was when like you had this like diet Ghost Rider, and like the real Ghost Rider comes in and just passes his powers on. Like it's like so cool because it's like they actually referenced real Ghost Rider and showed him on screen, like out of nowhere, unexpectedly. It was such a cool deal.
That is neat.
But yeah, apparently Feige was like, "Hey, we want to bring Ghost Rider into the movies and have Ghost Rider." So they're probably just gonna have like OG, like the one from the comics, like the original. It was like Johnny Blaze or something stupid. What was his? But yeah, Ghost Rider's probably like one of the coolest looking superheroes, anti-heroes. Yeah. So yeah, they're not gonna do his movie or his show.
Yeah.
But you know, I don't know. Like low budget, you know, that's fine. Losing that, I guess. But his version of the character wasn't super distinct. But I mean, he was fine. Like he was fine in the show. So.
All right. Other things, you know, Last of Us 2 got a trailer. That's a thing that looks, you know, it's very, very pretty looking. So, yes.
You're probably gonna mention this, but apparently the original like main characters from Jurassic Park.
That was literally what I was going on next.
Park. Yeah. I just saw that today. I was like, they brought me back in after that weird second movie they did. That was like.
Yeah.
Like,
hey, wait. Are we gonna have Chris Pratt interacting with Sam Neill?
That's what I'm saying.
That'd be amazing. That'd be amazing.
That's already the best Jurassic World movie. Like,
yeah.
The first one was okay. Like I had fun with it. Second one was like weird and it was crap and I didn't like it. And then this third one, I'm probably not gonna watch a third one. And they're like, here's all the main guys, including Jeff Goldblum, who was in the second one for 5 seconds, I think, literally.
Look, just when I thought I was out, they pulled me right back in.
Exactly. I was like, I'm in for this third one, especially if they're still gonna have Chris Pratt and Jessica Chastain. Who the flip is it? Who's the girl in Jurassic?
Laura Dern?
No.
Oh, the other one.
She's cool too.
I'm kind of sad because now when everybody thinks Laura Dern, they're just gonna think of
the character from it.
Yeah, and that's kind of annoying.
Howard. Yeah, Bryce Dallas Howard, the one that looks like Jessica Chastain. The one that like I always confuse the two. I was like, oh yeah, I've seen Bryce Dallas Howard because she was Gwen Stacy in Spider-Man 3. And it, like,
oh my goodness, they do look exactly the same.
They look almost exactly alike.
Like, oh my goodness, that's not okay.
I get so confused because I was like, oh yeah, I've seen Jessica Chastain in Interstellar, and I was like, this lady, she's not even Jessica Chastain. I completely, yeah.
I'm so upset
People
right
pointed
now.
that out.
I'm so upset right now. They look way too similar, and I'm not okay with this.
Yeah, Jessica.
I can't do it. I can't even right now.
Looks like Bryce Dallas Howard. Steven, have you looked it up yet?
I did.
Yeah, the side by side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They look. I mean, I could probably. I mean, yeah. Well, now I'm getting confused. Okay. At first, I was like, obviously they're different people. Like when you look at them side by side, but like the more I look at them, the more I'm like, wait, which one's which again? I actually like. I want them both in a movie. Actually, weren't they both in? Were they both in The Village? Hold on. Or am I? Now there's some other actress that looks like. I think they might.
Oh yeah, Nintendo's stock shares fall by a decent amount after the Switch Lite launch didn't meet expectations.
What was it? I'm sorry, what was that again?
Nintendo's share price dropped because Switch Lite didn't meet sales expectations. Which, I don't know. I'm kind of a little, in between there because I actually think that the Switch Lite is a dumb product. I get why it exists, but it's literally just like it's overcomplicating the Switch market, and it's literally half the functionality for more than half the price. So it bugs me, and I'm like, I feel like it's the kind of thing like somebody's gonna get a Switch Lite, and then they're gonna regret not getting an actual Switch.
Actual Switch.
What's the current price point of like the current DS model that people mainly buy?
Let me check. I think it's still maybe also like $200.
Okay.
You can get really. You can get a refurbished new Nintendo 3DS for $100 actually.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if people are gonna go, like, I don't think it's totally like out of the question if like you wanted to buy a Switch Lite,
Yeah. It's like,
but like it seems like a lot of people, if they're gonna go for that handheld, they might just get a 3DS anyway.
yeah, because it's like I've seen the Switch Lite in comparison to the normal Switch. Also, the new Switch model that's like been released. I don't know if it's out right now or it's going to be out soon. The new like normal Switch model is going to have better battery life than the Switch Lite. The Switch Lite has better battery life than the OG original Switch model, but it's like it's not that much smaller. It only has a slightly better battery life, and it's like you can't detach.
Yeah, I could see buying like a Switch Lite if like just my circumstances, you know, that's just what I needed at the time. I could see buying it, but like, you know, it could be a lower price, and like
it's like
me, I like switching up. I would
if
just
it's
buy
not
the full
selling,
console.
Honestly, it's not selling that well. It will. They're going to start dropping the price
Yeah.
on it. So
Yeah. It's just
it'll probably become a little bit more worth it. Honestly.
Yeah.
it's
Like if they dropped it to like 175 or whatever, or 150, I could see it.
Yeah, no, I could see it
What is
because
it? Wait, what's it at now?
200.
200.
And the normal Switch is
Yeah.
300.
Switch is normally 300.
So, and
Yeah,
you're
that's a
literally
bit
losing
much.
half the functionality for more than half the price. It's a bad deal.
Yeah.
Like, okay, well, my thing is like the whole like losing the functionality of like the the whole like two screen kind of thing, or what was like was it the motion controls? What was the functionality that's lost?
You can't plug it into the TV.
Yeah, like because there's supposedly some games you won't be able to play.
Yeah.
From what I can tell, like the games you're not gonna be able to play don't really seem like much of a loss because I don't think there's that many
Wait,
games.
there's games you can't play on the Lite.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think it's a lot of big name games that people like a huge amount of people
Well,
would care
okay.
about.
I'll give it that, but even that, it seems like even worse.
Yeah, well, that's why I don't think that part's like that loss is that much of a big deal because I don't think the games that are lost are huge.
Yeah.
Like, what's are there any notable games like that?
Super Mario Party, 1-2 Switch. You can't play any Labo games. ARMS you can't play.
Okay, yeah. that's a big
Jackbox
loss, I guess.
Party Pack games you can't play. You can't play Mario Maker on it.
Oh, Mario
I
Maker.
feel like Mario
yeah.
Maker would be like awesome on a Switch Lite.
Yeah, that's really dumb. Well,
Hold on.
But still, it's like
let me
only a few
rephrase
games.
that. You can, but it's a lot like harder to play. It's like limited because of the Switch Lite's limitations.
Gotcha. Okay, I can see that.
well, anyway.
They should at least make it like
And you
more
can't play
functional
local
if you already have a
multiplayer
Switch.
games. Obviously, you can't play local multiplayer games on it.
yeah.
Or it's a lot
Yeah.
harder to.
So that's losing. That's a lot more functionality than just plugging it into the TV. Honestly.
But the thing is,
Yeah.
like the whole point of the
for $200 bucks.
It's like I feel like the whole point of the Switch is it is a handheld, and you can plug it into
Right.
the TV. So it's like that opportunity if you have the right stuff with you, which a lot of people do. If you have the right stuff with you can just impromptu be like, hey, let me plug the Switch into your TV and we can just chill and do something. You lose that with the Switch Lite, and it's like
I know you guys already went over it, but were they asking for the DS?
you can get like a refurbished one for like $100.
Okay, well, I like at time.
At the time it came out,
Mm-hmm.
I think it was like between like maybe 200, 250, something like that.
Ah, okay, well, alright. Because, like, there's value in might just want a handheld, and I get that, but I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know, for 100 less, it just...
I feel like it is the kind of thing people like, if they don't already have a Switch, they're going to regret buying it because they could have gotten something that connects to your TV and it's like the
Right.
size of it is not
Yeah.
that much smaller. It's like
Yeah.
maybe 15% smaller with a little bit more battery life. It's a bad purchase if you already own a Switch, and it's the kind of purchase you're probably going to regret if you don't. And, you know,
Yeah.
I know there are some people who are just, you know, handheld only, and that's fine for those people. You know, I'm glad it exists for those people. But
Yeah.
for, like, literally anybody else, like, who's buying it, I will, like, be like, hey, you have to realize what you're buying and why, like, you should probably actually, you know, get a normal Switch.
I don't think I've ever played my Switch in handheld mode for more than 20 minutes. It's
Yeah.
like, it's just, for me, it's a home console.
Yeah, well, here's the thing: is a lot of people don't play it
Yeah.
docked though,
Yeah.
which is weird.
Yeah, like, honestly, pretty frequently I see people just out in, like, coffee shops or fast food places just with their Switch out. I was in a Bojangles the other day, and I saw a guy just eating, like, lunch, like, playing Smash on his Switch.
Dude, you
I was like, there you go, that's awesome
Dude, you
right
should
there.
have joined him.
I mean, he was using, like, the Switch Joy-Cons, and I was like, I can't do that.
Yeah.
So,
But it's like, it's also losing the ability to just like set it on a table and like just play like on the table with your friends as well. So it's
I feel like if the DS, like if the 3DS didn't exist, and it was a bit lower, it would be, like, way more reasonable,
yeah.
you know?
Well, the thing is
Because I feel like if you want to Switch enough to spend $200, you know, it really wouldn't be that much harder to, like,
you know, fork up that
you know,
extra
get
save
the
$100.
up.
bigger.
Save up
Yeah.
for the 100. Yeah, you might as well. I mean, to get a
So
yes.
Just
Yeah.
for me,
I
I
don't know.
love playing on the big screen. I mean, this is me personally. I know, like you said, there's a lot of handheld only people. I rarely ever am in the circumstances where I would be playing a handheld game,
yeah.
you know? But if I am, there's still games on my Game Boy Advance that I'm trying to play. Like, I still got, what do I have right here? I got Metroid Return of Samus right here. Still got to go through that. I still am trying to go through Metroid
Is that a Game Boy
Fusion. I got
Advance? Is that-
Zero Mission, which I always love playing through.
Yo, Steven, is that a Game Boy
The
Advance?
last one was a Game Boy.
Yeah, I got it around here somewhere. I got my SP around here
Dude, you gotta
somewhere.
let me borrow that so I can play Minish Cap.
Yeah, just let me know.
This is not the time to talk about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's my opinion on the Switch Lite. I think if you are literally confident you're only gonna be playing it in handheld, and you are for sure you don't have friends, you don't like playing games with them.
If you're a smelly, fat, ugly nerd who has no
If you just hate people and you never want to play with your friends, get the Switch Lite.
yeah.
But it's like the whole point of the Switch is it's like it's so
Handheld,
easy
you
to
play
play
with
with
people,
other people, and it's like
You're right. It's the more you talk about it, the more. I just
like if it was like, you know,
get it.
150, I can get that more because, you know,
Yeah.
it is like
150 is probably not feasible.
but it's,
But I mean,
because
you're
I
gonna be
can,
selling it for 150.
because I can see how
Yeah.
it looks comfortable to hold. It honestly does look like a very comfortable thing to hold. It probably does, you know, fit in your bag a little nicer, but it's not worth like spending another $200 just to get that. And it'll be more confusing because like if you like own two Switches, I know like, you know, Nintendo has some cloud saves, but it doesn't have cloud saves for every game because there's some that specifically doesn't. And oh my gosh, it would just be so annoying and confusing to own two Switches like that. So
Now, here's the thing. What if they made it so that... Okay, so the Switch Lite, outdated, gone. 3DS, on its way out. What if they made it so that they had a console that played both 3DS and Switch games?
That's actually genius. Actually,
yeah, no, that would be
that's
nice.
a really good idea.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, no.
That's actually a really good idea.
That would be like the handheld to end all handhelds, even though like they have no handheld competition
Yeah.
really except themselves at this point.
Yeah, remember the PS
and you
Vita?
could download
PS Vita
mobile
was cool.
games.
Yes.
Download mobile games
Oh,
too.
man.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you know what? I was gonna put this in our Discord, personal Discord. I actually saw recently, Apple has it where you can apparently connect your controllers to your
Yes,
phone.
I saw that.
Huh.
I'm like, that took phone game playability from here to here. Do you have to have Apple Arcade to do that, or is it just?
I do not know.
Are there a lot of mobile games that like could use a controller.
Yes.
Well, with Apple Arcade now, they subscribe to it apparently, and you get a bunch of really premium. One of them is Exit the Gungeon, which is an Enter the Gungeon. Like, basically, it's a sequel.
Looks great.
But, yeah, it's a side-scroller one. Yeah, it looks really fun. But, like, yeah, you can play it, like, on your phone. And, like, I watched a guy who streamed, or, like, did a video of it where he played it on his controller.
Mm-hmm.
And the button layout's different than, I guess, like, the real game. So, like, he was kind of like, this is really weird, because, like, the button layout's weird. But,
Yeah.
didn't have a way to rebind it, which, you know, it's But it's kind of cool because it's like, yeah, you can connect a phone to it. So now, or you connect your phone to your controller, and like kind of like, I don't know what games I can play with that, but that's cool. Yeah.
I noticed Will said something in the chat, but I don't know if he said it after or before we talked about that.
It was during.
But I'll go ahead and just repeat it again. Owning both is just sounds really confusing and annoying.
I could see owning one or the other.
We knew
but
this,
like,
Will, but you're an idiot. You're a fat idiot. No, I'm just kidding.
Because it's like, it's not that much smaller. If you own a case for it, I've seen the cases. It's literally like a very similar sized case to the normal Switch case. Some of them are actually bigger for some reason than the normal Switch case. So for size, it's not that much smaller. I don't know if you actually looked into it. It's like 10-15% smaller. It's negligible. It's like not even a marginable difference. It's so not it's just not worth it. It's not worth $200 to basically. It looks comfortable to hold. I will acknowledge that. It looks like a comfortable, cute little device. Not little, because it's not that much smaller.
I went ahead and asked him what the point. Because that seems weird. Like why you would want.
I mean, if it's just like for a collector's thing, I get that. Owning and collecting stuff is kind of fun, but that's only like if you're into that. But like,
you're really talking niche kind of stuff at that point.
Yeah, no, it's like
I don't know.
spending $200 for that. Like, Will, the upgraded Switch model is going to have better battery life than.
We're just talking to our friend at this point.
I know. I'm just talking to him.
He's our only viewer right now, other than us.
No, it's just it's impractical to own both unless you're just really, really passionate about just owning it. Because if you just want to own it because it's cute and it's neat, that's fine. But,
get every color that they have of it.
Yeah, get every color.
I like the colors for it though. I think the colors are really cool and the design's really neat.
From what I've seen.
No, it's a great design and it looks really comfortable and I like the way it looks. It's the kind of thing that if you already own a Switch, the Switch is perfectly fine for handheld. And if it's not comfortable, the Switch Lite's
already
gonna be
really small. It's already a handheld. Look at that.
Yeah, look, Steven, the Switch Lite, take off one Joy-Con. No, seriously, take off one Joy-Con and act like you're holding.
There you go.
That's the Switch
and you got
Lite.
a little stand. You can just pop that out. You know,
exactly.
Just,
that's all gone with the Switch Lite. It's literally like the size difference is you take off one Joy-Con and you shave off a millimeter off the bottom, and that's the Switch Lite.
Yeah, I love the little pastel colors on it. Yeah. The design's good.
The Switch Lite is likely not going to be more comfortable. I get the idea of having one that is not maybe you're more okay with taking damage. I guess.
Yeah, no, that's a pretty compelling.
I wouldn't say it's compelling. It's a decent
for
point.
me. I could see that you'd be like, it's like you've got you're able to carry your PlayStation around because Steven said home console. It's like you're carrying your PlayStation around. It's like, oh, I dropped my PlayStation, whatever. I kind of get that. But at the same time, you were talking about clouds. Well, I guess if there's cloud saves, then yeah. I mean, that's a big part of the appeal was that you can pop that baby out of its dock and take it with you.
Yeah.
But I guess if you have a cloud save, So you do have that portable version. It's the same functionality. It's that this
Yeah,
one.
but not all games have cloud
cheaper.
saves.
Right, which, yeah, like, do the majority of them do, or is it like exceptions, or like a 50-50?
I know, like, Splatoon 2 didn't, and that's, like, multiplayer game with a lot of progression. So if you, like, lost out on all that progression, that's, like, half your weapons gone.
Right. Do they not have that tied to an account?
It
Kind of crazy.
like, that's what, basically, I remember reading, is Splatoon 2 didn't have cloud saves. I remember, like, specifically a lot of online games didn't have cloud saves. So, like, Smash, I don't know if that has a cloud save. So, basically, if you were to just pop that in on your Switch Lite, I don't know if you're going to have the same profile that you had on the other one. And, like, for, like, me, having that profile is important. You have all your data, all your characters, all your maps and stuff.
Switch.
You're, like, online,
Switch games.
like, ranking.
I looked up... I'm looking at ones with cloud saves. I'm trying to... Compatible with save data? Is this the one? Or compatible with save data cloud backup? Yes, 1-2 switch. All my stuff is... Catan, Fortnite, yes. Oh, this is a big list. Pokemon's. Where is like? Wait, okay. Are compatible? Which are compatible with save data cloud backup? Are the only ones that are not compatible with this feature?
But that's
so Fortnite. I wouldn't have a cloud save for.
Shoot.
Or for
like
Switch, Splatoon 2. It's the other ones, but every other one.
Oh, Will, you don't bring your Switch to rooftop parties all the time. No, it's like it's the thing though about like the Joy-Cons though. It's
I
like
feel like we
what's
should
so
get him in here at this point. It's probably gonna end pretty soon.
the thing that's like so cool about the Joy-Cons is like the fact that they're not connected. It's the fact that you can literally just set it down, take one off, and
oh, that's part of the fun. Oh,
it's like literally like the gimmick of it. Otherwise,
yeah, because you can pop them off, and then that's your control.
It's like I think like the main thing to me is like if you're going to be getting a Switch, get something that can do the whole thing of the Switch. Get the Switch.
Maybe they should have the Switch Heavy, and it just docks to your TV, and it doesn't.
And it's $400.
It's $400, and it doesn't.
And it has even more features.
Actually, if it did, like, you could like run it at like a higher caliber graphics, which that would never happen. But like in Fantasyland, that'd be kind of.
The Switch already looks pretty good. Like
Nintendo's very good with the art styles. I don't know the frame rate on these games, but like looking at the games, they look
Smash
so
runs at
good.
60 for sure.
Question on the screen in like the resolution.
So the resolution's exactly the same. It's
okay because this is like one of the best looking like screens like of all time for like a handheld.
All right,
like it
so
looks so cool.
The thing about the Switch Lite, screen is because it's the same resolution but it's denser. It has the illusion of looking slightly clearer, even though it's literally the exact same resolution.
All right.
So
because the Switch screen like looks like amazing.
The Joy-Con sharing gimmick has been useful to me, like all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like whenever I bring a Switch somewhere, I share that. Also, it's like
I think that's why. So why? Okay, Jesse, do we want to like? So where are you guys? You and Will are our podcast. Stream live. Do we want to just call it, and then you can just talk to Will if you want?
Yeah, I think we should probably call it anyway.
Right.
We're approaching like 2 hours here. So.
Surprise reboot corner! We're rebooting
no.
Switch!
We're rebooting the Switch?
We're rebooting the
3D
Switch.
Switch.
The 3D Switch.
The new...
It has a 3D screen
I'm
on
surprised
top.
they haven't done the whole...
It just looks like a GameCube.
Look, I'm waiting until they do the new Switch XL. Like they always do the new thing.
Dude, if they made a Switch that could play 3DS games and Switch games, that would be awesome.
That'd be cool.
No, that would be like, that'd be chill. That'd be cool. Alright.
Will's like, this is really weird.
Oh,
What
no.
if they made... if they did like they perfected the screen folding technology, and you could just fold out your Switch, and it's like this freaking big? Like,
Can I roll it out like a scroll?
It's just this long, but
Yeah,
it still like
roll it
has
out.
the same like height.
yeah, just roll it out, and you got this huge screen. Yeah,
It's like one of those unfoldable maps,
Just
you know.
TV. Yeah,
That looks so
I love it.
stupid.
just folds out like a map. Yeah, but it'd be like a cute, like it'd be like a sandwich thing, like a
Yeah.
small sandwich, just like just because it's in blocks.
The
the
Nintendo
worst.
Jenga.
That's like the worst thing I've ever imagined in my
Looks
life.
so dumb.
All right.
I was just talking like once over. Like,
All right.
Like the new 3DS
I'm gonna go ahead and
Switch.
call it now.
Yeah. What do we got coming up on the channel this week?
Nothing.
Yeah, likely nothing unless I actually get around to editing things.
Edit something.
Jesse, we should really talk about the guy that has no time to edit his podcast. Like, we should really talk about me, like, trying to edit some of our footage. As long as it's nothing too elaborate, I mean, I've got, like, some
Yeah.
really rudimentary editing software for sure.
Yeah, you should do that. You should help me edit things because I have like probably 3-4 hours of footage to edit right now. So
Oh, yeah. That's...
I think it'd be more, honestly.
it probably is more. It's likely more actually, based on our Man
Probably
of
like
Medan
5 or 6
playthrough.
hours.
But our Man of Medan playthrough
Man of
itself
Medan.
is like probably 5 hours. We have too
Yeah,
much.
it's gonna be so
Anyway,
good. It's
anyway,
gonna go up way after it's relevant. Like,
who cares? It's a funny game.
It is. It
It's
is
a funny
game.
playthrough. All right, thank
It's
you.
a funny game and a funny playthrough.
All right, thank you so much for watching the hashtag emotional podcast, the hashtag Switch Lite Haters podcast. See
The
ya.
guy that's neutral because he just doesn't really care much about.
Get out.
The Switch still looks cool.
Get
I'll
out,
probably
Luke.
get one.
No,
Yeah, the Switch is
we're
awesome.
banning you from our channel, Luke.
Wow.
Alrighty, see y'all next week.
Bye.
Well,